Imagine the fun you'll have at your wedding, one of life's most treasured moments. In each episode, hear from leading wedding professionals as they share with you insider tips and personal advice for a magical wedding. Welcome to the Indian Wedding Podcast. Here to help plan your wedding with style and grace are your hosts, Kunal and Jinal Sampat.
Hi friends, this is Kunal, along with Jinal Sampat, your hosts at the Indian Wedding Podcast, where our job is to help you design a magical wedding. You'll get value-packed insights on all wedding-related topics through a series of interviews with some of the most interesting, talented, and creative leaders in the Indian wedding industry. This week's topic is live music performance. There's no doubt that music touches our hearts and soul. And when the music is live, performed right in front of us, we set ourselves free from the day-to-day worry and transcend into a world filled with positive emotion, joy, and abundance. This is the magic we get to experience at an Indian wedding with live music. And today, we're here to learn more about this from a successful songwriter and music composer, Daksh Kuba from Canada. Daksh's musical journey began prior to moving to Canada in 2004, where he self-taught himself by playing the guitar. In this interview, we explore Daksh's childhood years and the influence his father had on his artistic abilities. Right in the middle of this interview, Daksh does an impromptu music composition and shares with us his approach when it comes to composing songs for brides and grooms. Aside from his passion for live music, Daksh actively creates original soundtracks with his band NUXT. His voice is sure to touch your soul. Please join me in welcoming Daksh Kuba to the Indian Wedding Podcast.
देखूं जो ना एक पल भी मैं तुझे सपने तरसाते हैं ये सुकून दिल का ले जाते हैं ये पलकों पे ख्वाहिशें सजती मेरी आँखों में डूब जाऊं.
So, Daksh, welcome to the Indian Wedding Podcast. We're super happy and thrilled to have you as our guest today on the show. And both Jinal and I are going to do a great job of maintaining a high level of energy because I think we heard on one of the YouTube interviews that you're a chameleon. Basically, if we have high energy, you're going to have a high energy. So we're going to do our best to keep up with it.
Wow. You actually researched into this. Wow, that's amazing. Well, that's very impressive. Well, it's true, I am. So thank you for keeping high energy. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's all about for recently for me as an artist, it's been all about having like clean energy about anything and everything that we do. So I really appreciate that. Thanks.
Awesome. So I will get started with asking you, like, how did you even get started with singing and composing and performing in your career up till now?
When I started, so I was born and raised in Delhi. That's where I'm originally from. And my dad sings, and he's always sang growing up. So I think it was just because of him that I used to sing a lot. And yeah, I think genetically, thank the Lord, something got passed on. So yeah, I had to I didn't have to get much push from myself. It was already in me through my dad. And then, so I started singing in India, and then I moved here when I was 18. And when I was 18, that's when I first met this amazing artist, Taimur from Pakistan, actually. And he is the one who got me into playing guitar and music. A lot of Pakistani music influence. That's my life as well. That as well. So that's how it's kind of journeyed into that. And then now I'm just doing my own a whole lot of original compositions, and as a composer now, I'm trying to bring that into the wedding industry, quote unquote, but like just our lives, right? So as a couple, like I don't want to just perform. I want to add value to them musically. And how do I? So then my job becomes now: how do I convert their emotions? How do I convert their thinking? And then the soul of their wedding. How do we make a song about the soul of their wedding? So that now is kind of like the driving force for me to now like be running a business and creating either cover songs or even original songs for couples. And yeah. Sorry, I kind of went on. And,
Got it. No, this is perfect. So you were telling us about like your dad. Basically, you got your genes from your dad, the singing genes, I guess. Yeah. But were there like certain things that your dad did that as a kid that you remember, recollect that kind of led?
That's a good question. I think my dad would always parent-teacher meetings happen in India, so. Meet your parents or your teachers meet your parents, and so my dad would always be very interested in talking to the music teachers and seeing what's happening there, and I think that's like one of the things is that. Second, like I remember when I was maybe even like I think 10 or something, and my dad kind of put me in this competition for 15th of August, like the Indian Independence Day, and I have memories of like myself performing there in front of the crowd, like the first ever time that I stepped foot on stage. It's funny, I've never really talked to anyone about this, so no, this information doesn't exist out there yet. But yeah, like for the first time being on a stage as a child, and just seeing like people, and then just singing to them, like it's very liberating when you realize that music isn't yours to keep, and neither do you possess it. Like it's not like all the music and stuff, anything that's coming out of me is legit flowing, and it's coming from a higher sort of energy source, and you're just the tunnel through which it's going to flow, and you're just more conscious. That's why you're the artist, quote unquote, because you're just more conscious of your tunnel through which the music is flowing. But yeah, coming back to my dad's thing, so he put me in those kind of things, which I guess were the founding steps for me to pursue music as a form of expression.
Got it. That's great.
Yeah, I wanted to ask him about like customizing like brides and grooms, like songs for them. Does that mean like you could custom write songs for them for their special day? Is that what it is?
Well, so instead of me, is it okay if I ask you guys some questions as well? Because I want to find out a little bit about you. If it is, I mean, like, I'm sorry, this is off the record. I'm just asking.
That's okay.
I would love to like find out, about you guys, and then and then tell you through my process of how I would compose, let's say, a song for you two as an example. So I'm wondering if it's okay to use you guys as an example to kind of showcase that, or if you're not okay with that, that's totally fine as well.
Yeah, no, we're game. So let's
sounds interesting.
Yes, there you go. That's good. So let's say, so for you two, right? So now, Jinal, to answer your question, this is like where the answering begins. So for you two, I guess, is there like what's your guys's as a couple? What's your guys's the very first interaction that you remember that was like, yes, this is the one.
Like, what was it like? Yeah,
instinctively, like if you when I say this question, instinctively, where does your instinct take you when I say that which at what point in your guys' life you guys kind of like fell in love and you knew that this is the person? Like, what's that moment?
That's funny. Can I go ahead, Kunal?
Yeah, go for it, and then I'll give my answer.
Yeah, ours. We were introduced through our parents actually, but the first time we met, Kunal just asked me a few questions about like education and just like career and life, and nothing about like food and all the housewife things. So I just figured like he's the right person, and my heart was like, I knew it like the day one. Honestly speaking, I didn't expect that from me, but I knew it like the day one, and then we met 2 more times.
Wow!
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Kunal?
Yeah. So for me, I think it's been a gradual process. I don't know if it's been like a moment. If you push me to like decide that, I'm sure I cried at some point in my in my frustrations with, whatever I was doing, or I wasn't, hitting failure or whatever the case may be. And then Janelle was there to support me. And I think that was kind of maybe the turning point, but I can't tell you exactly when that happened, but that has happened on multiple occasions.
And then that's amazing. And you know what, Kunal, I'm exactly like you. Like I was just having this conversation yesterday with my other half about like me being like you said, that it gradually happens. It's funny that how universe works. I was literally I spoke those words yesterday, and you're speaking the same words today, which is how energy transfers in the universe is kind of another science topic that a bunch of books that I'm writing about. But aside from that, I completely I think I'm exactly the way you are, and I feel that way as well. Like there's multiple moments and they keep changing as we go down our path of living life. Those moments, these these feelings that you fall in love with the one that you're with, it keeps changing, and you get to find like new of these moments. So you're gradually, literally falling in love on a monthly, daily, weekly type of basis, right?
Yeah.
Right. So how do we get to our composing our song now?
Right. So see, like there's a lot of innocence. This is how the process now changes. So so now, for example, like this story that you guys have there, I see a lot of innocence in it. So that's one word that I'm going to take. So you convert this full story down to a couple of words that will describe, because like I feel personally words take away, for me, not for everyone, for me they take away from expression. So from here, this story now, we're going to pick 5, 6, 7 words to describe this whole story, and not more than like 3, 4 things, maybe and dial it down to 2 to 3 words. So innocence is one word that I got from here. And then for innocence now, because from the way I see music, is in like I can see in which song I see innocence, in which songs I don't. So now I have the right tool from your story to express you. So, for example, for you guys, the song that now I would choose or recommend is going to be, there's this song. Actually, do you guys mind if I sing?
Go for it. We were going to actually ask you to sing, but then we figured it might be hard for you to get into your flow state.
Oh, no. The whole point of life for me now is to just live in the moment. So like I'm actually composing a song for you guys, like, or a medley for you guys. I know this is going to be a very rough medley because we're on air right now, but like regardless, it's going to be a medley for you guys. So sorry, just 1 second. I'm going to stop the music that's playing in my background so that it doesn't interrupt. It's very, very far away, but it's minimal. Give me 1 sec, sorry. I don't know if you can hear it.
Yep, I think we're good.
All right, here we go. So there's this, so because of that, there's this song by Kumar Sanu, Tu Meri Zindagi. I think it's Kumar Sanu. I don't know if you remember, but so that's like, and then how you bring that story now, like how you bring the innocence in the story to music is kind of like the goal, where you would change or pick up certain notes and chords that express it that way. So it would be something like. मेरी जिंदगी तू मेरी जिंदगी मेरी बंदगी. So like that song would be like that, and you would have to sing it in that sort of a way to add that innocence to it. So that's how like. Now we'll continue on talking about more about your story, and then that will be like another idea where we can maybe pick another song, or if the more we talk, all of us together, the more material there is for me to change your story into music.
Wow.
And that's where I can either change it into like a cover song. Like right now, we talked for maybe 5 minutes, so it was easy for me to just think of a cover song. But if we talk a lot more and the more in-depth conversations we have, then I know your story, so I know which lyrics I can create to write an original song that actually talks about you guys, right? So, for example, now if I was to change that. And just pick the innocence from it and not do a cover song, right? But like that's my leading factor. That's what you've given me as a couple. That there was an innocence in the beginning of the relationship as the beginning. So it would be something like this. So this is where the song then would start like. So something like that. Right, so that would be so now I know the beginning of how that would be if I was to add innocence to the song. But yeah,
Cool.
a long
Wow,
process.
can I clap? It was so good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like that's amazing. I mean, I wish we had you for our wedding time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I really do. Yeah. So Daksh, this was great. Thank you so much for doing that. So I'll ask you about your band NUXT, which I heard some amazing songs
Yeah.
on YouTube. Can you explain us what is it all about and what you intend? Yeah.
So NUXT is an Indo Pakistani band. So I'm from India, and then the two other members there from Pakistan, and it's an inter-religious band. Like the whole purpose of NUXT is to break stereotypes. The whole motive is to unite through music. So like for me, I think growing up, it's always been my dadaji was from Lahore, so from Pakistan, and he had his like Urdu newspaper business in Pakistan. And during the 47, my family moved back. So always like my dadaji's had a love for Pakistan. So, I've grown up with like love for India and Pakistan equally. Like slowly and steadily throughout my life, I stopped even watching like India versus Pakistan matches because I don't like the energy that they put out because of the two, being the way they are. So that kind of grew, inside me, and then eventually I joined. There was a Pakistani band already, like same way, like there were three people: Imran, Habib, Irfan, Lawrence, and Aman Tohan. So these three guys, they were already in a band together, and then they were looking for a singer. And then through some of our common friends, I tried out, and then they kind of liked my singing. To be honest, I wasn't as improved, excuse me, as I am now. Provided there's a whole lot of improvement every day, but like I was a decent singer, not really in pitch well enough, but good enough for the band to have me at that time. So I started, we started kind of jamming out. 2007 is when we started jamming out as a band, and we grew all individually as musicians and artists and singers and composers. And we released our first album after a whole bunch of years together in 2013 called Saptak. I think that's the one that you might have heard, but that's where so you would hear it. There's a song. The first song is called India versus Pakistan, which is literally all of us are conversing with the crowd of India and Pakistan, asking them that question. So it was initially called Iltija, which is a request. I think I forgot the meaning of the name. Yeah, I think it means a request in Urdu. But yeah, that's the story with Daksh.
So how many albums have you launched since then?
We've had one original album that's there, and now we're working on our second album. Finally, we've kind of got back together, and then sort of getting in the zone of being a band again, because of like when life takes over, usually everyone kind of deviates and does different things.
Got it.
Which are important. But yeah, so we're working on our second album now, and we have about 5 to 7 songs ready. Slowly, they're going into post-production now. So probably October-ish is when we're thinking of releasing it.
That's great.
Wow. So do you create like videos for them too, or it's just audio?
Yeah. No, we do create videos for some of them, not all of them.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, on YouTube, yeah, on like for NUXT, for us.
Okay.
A whole bunch of like all those songs, most of them they have YouTube videos.
Yeah, they look they do add a lot of meaning to the album and concept wise.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So Daksh, what makes performing at weddings exciting for you?
I think the whole process, like, it's not about the end goal; it's about the journey. And I know it sounds as cliche as possible, as because about 20,000 people have said it, but it is what it is. It's a fact. So, like, for me, what keeps me active is like you guys shared that story, me being able to figure out what song is going to explain and tell you your story, because and this is why I think Kunal, you and I were talking about the business approach and then the business that I've started and like my whole approach with it, how it's different than normal businesses. Is the focus is always on the soul. So when you're spiraling out of the soul, because the soul is your why, like why you want to do things, what you want to do, and then from only when you understand and you're behind the reason why, you can figure out how to do it or what to do, which is like the second sort of thing you want to think about, and then the third thing is what to do. So yeah.
And what about the weddings that's challenging for you?
I haven't had. I don't know. I guess the way the way I view things, because of that, maybe I don't see them as challenges. I don't know. Like, for example, like if when people would come back, we like just before I was talking to you guys, I was on the call, and with a couple of friends of ours, and then they kind of wanted the song, the second song in the front, or expanding the other song. So like these are not really challenges, because like I'm already invested in the music, so these are not really challenges. More so, these are like opportunities.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great mindset to have. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if a couple is looking to have a live music for their event, in your mind, how should they get started, and what should the process look like?
I think how to get started is like for the how to get started is a very good question. Like, I wish there was an app that was developed. And I don't know, a few people around here in Vancouver, they were trying to develop an app through weddings where people can actually just on their cell phones just figure out which vendors to look at, and if they typed in live music in that app, then that would be that. By the way, that's a great app idea. And I have a separate sort of venture using the same sort of business models that I have, but that's a separate thing. But anyway, I think that's how they should be able to find it. If not, then like for us, our company name is Decibel Studio, and they can reach us at studio@decibelentertainment.com, or through our Instagram, our YouTube channels, and all the artists are kind of like listed there as well, and they can kind of reach out to us through that.
What's the name again? Can you repeat that?
Yeah, Decibel Studio.
Decibel Studio. So, I see.
Yeah. So that's it's a company of all live artists with this sole purpose.
Got it.
And then the whole goal behind it is to just safeguard everyone's experience and make sure everyone kind of like is focused on the real part, which is the soul.
Yeah. So in terms of like resources for brides and grooms, like if they kind of wanted to get started, like how would they find someone like you, or that's kind of the challenge. I mean, I think that's what you were saying. That's what Decibel Studio does, right? Do you like? Is that correct?
Yeah, you got it.
And how many artists do you have on your?
We have about 8. So we have saxophone players, violin players now, piano players we've had for a while. I'm an amazing pianist, Sean. And Hitesh is now another. So we have multi-talented artists as well. So Hitesh, for example, he can play he's a percussionist also, and he's a singer and a guitar player. So it's a pool of about 8 artists, I would say, in total.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's also very open, like the whole business model as well. It's just like the way I'm doing business is different totally. So the whole business model is for anyone or any artist that kind of wants to jam out. My studio space, which you guys are in right now as well, which we're recording, is I've opened it up to all artists that are local here. Like even making a key for a couple of the other artists so that just they can use my studio space and record so that the music doesn't stop. Because the whole goal is not about one single person. The whole goal is to get live music, to the people. And then for us, like converting emotions into music and then getting people to connect with their own emotions is the goal.
Got it.
Got it.
Yeah.
So like if there is, I'm just thinking out loud, if there, because 8 artists, that's great, and I think this is kind of headed in the right direction. Wanted to kind of understand, like, if there's somebody in India, or like people like in I don't know, people living in Maldives or whatever the case, or
Yeah.
Mauritius, they want an artist to be there, and kind of how would they go about setting that up?
I think it's Instagram, like, essentially. I guess that you're asking, like, where would they go searching for
exactly.
it? I guess?
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, so I think for Instagram would be like the biggest place to go, and then just checking hashtags like hashtag like live singers or live performers or wedding performers, things like that. So those 2-3 hashtags there, I think those are good ones to search.
Cool. Gina, how did
Yeah.
you find Daksh?
Oh, I actually went through like a wedding planner's Instagram profile, because they usually tag like a lot of other vendors, and I saw like a post with you singing, so that's how I found you.
Nice. Well, that's nice. Which wedding planner?
Well, if I recollect correctly, I hope I'm not wrong, but it was Anais Events, local Bay Area.
Yeah, we've interviewed on this podcast.
Her, yeah. But she's I've known her through our podcast. But I was researching for our event, and that's how I found you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess those are the places. I mean, the other place would be just YouTubing or a Google search. Honestly, a Google search, like if you find out an artist's name and you want to look at their sort of what they've done, literally in Google it shows up.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like what your voice was breaking. Okay, so basically, I wanted to ask you, like, what type of usual events do people hire? Events for wedding, choose to work with an artist such as yourself, like in a wedding?
Yeah, that's a good question. So a lot of in a wedding, it would be like a lot of sangeets, a lot of like private parties. Not necessarily weddings, but also like some birthdays, for example. Like there's this package called Mehfil, which is essentially like a live type of a concert. You get people to sing along with you. So those type of things they get in the weddings. You'd be at like sangeet or like whatever, like house parties that you kind of are having, where you want sort of an intimate setting where everyone likes or vibes with the type of music that you're playing, right?
Right.
Yep.
So you said Mehfil, Sangeet, private events.
Yeah.
What are the things, like, like what's the audience size are we talking about generally to just think about?
You're talking about like 80 people-ish.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're looking at that, and then there's like, we do concerts and stuff. So with me, my band, and a bunch of other artists, we do one concert a year. Where there, it's usually the size is about, and that's a full-on Bollywood concert, and that size is usually about 300.
Got it.
Is there like a certain genre of songs you usually play that gets like people, like the party charged up usually in all occasions?
There is. That's a very good question. I'm trying to think. It is always different songs. So, for example, like if it's a Bollywood concert, obviously it's going to be a different song, and whereas opposed to like majorly a lot of people like vibe with like more Punjabi songs instead of Hindi songs, then that's going to be a different choice of songs. But in either instance, I guess the song itself is something that like musically is very strong. So with which people are going to sort of interact. So yeah, so I guess to answer your question, yeah, it depends from party to party, and then I just have a bunch of songs in my head. So like while I look at those people, like what they're kind of liking, I switch the song in my head, and then switch it on the guitar as well. I guess that's kind of like the benefit of being able to do it live. You can actually gauge people, look at what people are doing, and then change the song depending on whatever all the bunch of songs that you know.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, it's more customized to the mood, I guess.
Yeah, like singing, like if I see like them singing this first song and not everyone's dancing, them like instead of going through my set that I've said, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do, quote unquote, I'm just going to change up a different song and just pick up the pace or put the pace down. So that would be it. Like picking up a higher tempo song is going to make people dance more. So we're going to use those songs like while we're performing. And yeah, so it's pretty usually like you got to make people dance to the tempo that you kind of want them to dance on, and you kind of looking at them like what they vibe with. You pick the songs and you just perform.
Got it. So how do you go about like not finalizing, but semi-finalizing a playlist, based on what most brides and grooms, like how involved are most brides and grooms in the selection of songs? That's what I mean to ask. Yeah.
I see. For the first dance, they're like as involved as like we were talking about in the beginning of this process.
Got it.
That would be like the level of engagement that we would have. For the second one, or where all the couples are invited, I haven't had a single bride or groom be like be like, why we don't like the song or we don't have anything. They most of the time just left it up to me because of, I guess, the first process, because they've already like at that point they trust what I'm doing is going to be great. So I haven't really had that, but like a few instances where I've had a list as well. Like I do like a couple of them, 3 or 4 of them from the list, and then I share with them that the rest of it we're going to do it live instead of just finalizing a list, because people are not like, you can't finalize a list pre wedding when people are dancing at the wedding, which is going to be the wedding date, and then depending on that vibe is when you pick up the song, right? So that's kind of like the conversation that we have.
That's great.
Yeah, it's more impromptu, and that's the talent, right? Yeah, to gauge the timing.
Exactly. That's the whole point of having a live is
Right.
to have restrictions and have freedom to do everything for everyone, right? Because the goal is to give a performance. The goal isn't to select a song. The goal is to engage people and then get them dancing and get them moving and change their moods by music, right? That's the main goal. So instead of like focusing on like as this business as most of my music and my work now works, is instead of focusing on those things, I always focus on just like the bigger picture of what's going to make them feel. Because like I can, based on based on like 3 different notes that I play, I know how I can make someone in front of me feel, right? So that's the musical translation that happens in my head. So I know what's going to make them dance or slower. So you can kind of like maneuver it and then make them have a good time.
Yep. So, I'm curious. Is there like a DJ and like you sing, and then is there like a DJ that people have afterwards, or kind of is that? Do you see that frequently, or?
Yeah, all the time. So usually what I see is we'll do the first dance, we'll do the all other couples dance where everyone joins in, and then what I would typically what I do is we speed up the song. So we'll start with a slower song and speed up the songs so that people are already jiving and dancing. And then since your floor is already packed and people are already kind of like in the mood to dance, they're kind of warmed up with like sort of like jivey type of like these type of songs, and then you transition into the DJ really well with already an upbeat song. So you kind of meet the DJ at that tempo there. And I do this really well with like a lot of the local DJs here with Decibel Entertainment. Like we all have like a great sort of transition way that we kind of do work with each other.
That's awesome.
Super.
That makes great sense. So then, I was wondering what common mistakes do people make in terms of a live singer, like in terms of expectations from a live singer?
Ooh, yes, the biggest one to avoid is sound, which means so every artist has something called a tech writer. A tech writer is essentially 3-4 things that are required for the performance to happen. Because when we sing live, you need the right mics, you need the right speakers to be able to translate whatever the singer is doing into like good audio. So and because of that, sometimes because you want to amplify a vocal or a saxophone player or anything, you're going to have good sound. Otherwise, like it mixes up weirdly and causes feedback and all these other issues, because of which it sounds more like noise, right? So if you're paying for something, I think making sure the sound is good is kind of like the biggest one out of them all, because the performer can they're going to do their job, right? It's just the sound needs to be good so that they can be heard as well. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, it's really important to do that. So you feel like a lot of times it's not done correctly. Like, how can people ensure it's
yeah? So Yeah, that's a very good question. So in Vancouver now, at least what we can do is like we can do it we offer to do it ourselves. Like, it's included in all the prices and whatnot, so that we don't want to make sure, because the whole goal is to make sure that the sound doesn't go bad. So at least in Vancouver, I'm able to just our team is supposed to make sure, and then every sound check, which happens 2-3 hours before people arrive, we do that now to make sure that it is how we want it to sound. It is like an experience that we want people to have. So we make sure we do that properly, and then after, when people start coming in, then it's the performance time.
Got it.
That's
Yeah. With US, usually it's all all the other DJs that we work with. So the clients pass them on our tech writer, and then those DJs are always. I don't think I've had any problem anywhere in the US. Like, everyone is so amazing in terms of the vendors. It's just amazing to work with them. But yeah, so they take care of all of that sound then.
Yeah, and it's called the tech writer. Is that what you said?
Writer, yes, tech writer. So it's just like a writer that has the tech requirements in it for the performance.
Got it.
Yeah. So Daksh, this question I have, it's going to be really fun for you to answer, hopefully. So if I had a magic wand and would ask you your dream location or audience you would like to perform for, where and who would that be?
I think I see that happening in a theater in Bombay.
And why is that?
And
I love doing concerts on stage. So I love performing. That's why I do that once a year with my band. I have this picture of my first concert up on my studio wall, and then I just use that as my vision board to achieve the question that you just asked me. So I want to be able to achieve that, and that is my vision, to be able to provide that sort of an experience, because I sing and I dance, and that's the only way I know how to express myself. And I want to, whatever we've talked about, I want to give people that experience. When we do our concerts, there's a lot of engagement involved. We do guessing games where we make people guess the songs, and our lead guitarist will be playing just the lead of it, and then our pianist on the other hand would be playing one song, and we'll make people guess it. So I really like engaging people and providing those type of experiences, and that can happen only in concert sort of places where people are just there not with an expectation but just to enjoy music, right? So that's that. Yeah, I think that's the one.
That's going to happen. But why Bombay and?
That's a very good question. I don't know. I guess I'm an old soul, so I guess my songs that I gravitate towards, or I guess that's where people would understand most of the music that I am doing.
I guess, okay.
So all of my original music is like that.
Right.
All of my music is a band. You heard the album stuff, how kind of it's various genres. It's in the first song is a rock classic, second song and third song Pagli and Musu, they're lovey-dovey ballads. And then there's a hardcore sort of a little bit rocky song or jumpy song. There's Megha. So there's we're all through those genres, and then and that I think is going to be expressed. And I write in Hindi, Urdu mainly, and Punjabi. These are the three languages that I write in. And eventually I see that in Bombay, but I think before that in the US there's huge place for that as well.
Cool.
Got it. No, it's going to happen. If it's on your vision board, it happens usually.
Yeah,
I hope so.
That's exciting. That really is. I think we will come and see you in your concert when that happens.
Oh yeah.
If we are invited, I don't know who the audience you want.
You buy the ticket and you show up, Jinal.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll be all the way in the back cheering you, so don't worry. Yeah.
I'm sure I will have front row seats passes for you. Actually, not front row. I wouldn't say front row. By the way, another sound tip. You don't want to sit in the front row if you want to get the best sound. You want to make sort of an isosceles triangle, whichever concert you go to, with the speakers. So once you make that isosceles triangle with the speakers, you'll be getting the best sounding experience. Sorry, I just had to add that sound note to make sure that you get that experience as well.
Got it. So you kind of want to be in that triangle. Is the point of that triangle in the front of the stage, and then it kind of goes back? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So we're on your left hand side there will be a speaker that should be equal distance from you to the right, and then the distance between the speakers themselves should be like that. So a particular spot where you get the best sound mathematically, I guess.
I see.
Yeah. So it's right in the middle, I guess.
Yeah, it's right in the middle. Yeah, right in the middle of the speakers. Yeah.
All right. So I just have a last couple of questions, and then we're going to call this a wrap. So where can people find out more about you and your work? We're going to link to your Instagram handle for sure. What other places do you want people to check out your work?
Yeah, I have my work, personal work is all on Spotify and YouTube and iTunes. So those are the three main places. And Instagram is just sort of, I guess it's a temporary sharing platform, but most of my work is on YouTube, Spotify.
What's your YouTube channel?
It's youtube.com/Daksh Kuba.
And then Spotify, they just need to search your name.
Yeah, I just search Daksh Kuba. So for all three of them, if you just search Daksh Kuba.
Great. So we'll link all those three in the show notes. Is there anything else we should have asked you that we didn't?
No, I don't think so. I think we've covered a whole bunch of things. That's pretty much the goal of it. And I guess in terms of are you thinking in terms of business?
No, in general. I think in terms of is there anything that the audience could benefit from knowing?
I hope our conversation would be good enough for them to, I guess, get something from it.
I think it was awesome. I think we covered a lot of ground. Daksh, thank you so much for joining us today on the Indian Wedding Podcast. Jinal and I are super thrilled and excited to get this interview live.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a real pleasure. Thank you for letting me play and then compose a little starting medley for you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Indian Wedding Podcast. For more exclusive time and money-saving tips, head over to sampatjewelers.com/podcast.